So what went wrong for us in that game? Absolutely everything. From the first half to the second half. I thought in the first 20 minutes we looked good. The press was good. I was highly confused about the fact that Bruno and Pogba were playing as strikers. When the team came out, I thought we were playing a 4-1-2-1-2, quite attacking. Um, but throughout the game, if we look at it, I mean, a lot of the players reverted to a 4-4-2. Ranić reverted to a 4-4-2 throughout the whole game. And Pogba and Bruno were up top with Elanga and Sancho playing as the wide midfielders. And look, what went right for us in that game was that the press was working at times against City. I thought a lot of the time City in the first half were they were taking a bit too much time in the ball, and it allowed our midfielders to get onto them. And players like Elanga were standing out on the break, and that's where most of our success came from on the counter attacks and a couple of opportunities we should have taken advantage of. But if we look at it, we should have lost that game anyway. And people are going to talk about Ronaldo not playing, people are going to talk about Varane not playing. And yeah, that probably would have changed the way we played. But even if Ronaldo was fit, I probably wouldn't have played him in this game anyway. Um, Look, this game, I thought Bruno was poor. A lot of misplaced passes. He was everywhere. He was playing as almost like a false nine in a system, in a 4-4-2 system. Throughout that whole game, we looked like we were playing a 4-4-2, Pogba and Bruno up top, which was very strange. Um, I mean, what it did was it allowed Bruno and Pogba to get back into midfield and almost turn into, support the midfield and almost turn into a 4-6. That's almost what it looked like at the same time. It looked like we had no attack at times. And yeah, some people will argue that, Sancho had a great game in terms of, individually. But for me, look, it just wasn't good enough. A lot of the time we looked all over the place. At times we were playing a 4-4-2, and then we almost looked like a 4-3-3. And we kept changing. A lot of players kept going up, but Pogba was playing incredibly high, and that's why I'm saying I thought that Bruno and Pogba throughout that whole game were playing as a front two. Um, so it was a bit confusing for me. A lot of the time our midfield was compact, but it was too easy for them to get through our midfield. Even though we had four midfielders, a lot of the time Bruno and Pogba would support the midfield, but it was too easy for Man City to get past them. Kevin De Bruyne was constantly left open. I mean, what was it, that second goal? Fred just let De Bruyne just roam free into that position where he scored. I mean, it was a scruffy goal, but Fred just let him get straight into the box without marking him or it was silly from Fred in that position there. And that first goal, look, the cross shouldn't have come in. It went in between Wan-Bissaka's legs. Maguire should have got in the way of it. That third goal again, honestly, where is our defence there? The amount of space Mahrez had on that third goal was ridiculous. And the fourth goal, look, he was onside. Telles kept him onside. It's funny because a lot of the people were complaining about Telles' game, but I thought a lot of the times where we looked in danger was down the right hand side, down Wan-Bissaka's right hand side, and a lot of the time Wan-Bissaka was not having a good game. He wasn't able to stop the Bernardo Silvas, the attacking players that they have, and Cancelo was a constant threat throughout the game. I thought in the first half again, I thought we had bright spells in the first half. We got on the ball, we managed to do things, but it was on the counter. We didn't really manage to do things whilst having possession of the ball and managing to get the ball forward to our attacking players. A lot of the time we were pressed into a madness, and Man City managed to get the ball off us plenty of times. At times it reminded me of the 2-0 loss we had earlier on this season under Oli, but with a few brighter spells in the game, which was on the break. So, a lot of the time throughout that game, I just thought we're not going to get anything out of it, especially when Rashford came on. Look, I thought Rashford would have suited his game with his pace, but again, we need to play as a team, and he kept losing the ball, kept trying to do skills to go past Man City's defence. It just wasn't working. And again, who comes out here looking bright is Sancho. But even then, in the second half, he was non-existent. Wan-Bissaka again, poor going forward. Telles putting some decent crosses, still nothing to be like. I mean, defensively, he looked suspect anyway. So many times he left a lot of space down that left-hand side, and Mahrez was a constant threat to Telles there. So look, after that game, it's really hard for me to remember everything because I need to go back and watch the game and see what really happened with the specifics, with the formation, with what players were at fault. But from what I remember, Telles was at fault for a couple of the dangerous instances we were in. Even in the last goal, of course, he kept him onside. Maguire, again, I think it was the first and the third goal. I mean, where's our defence? A shambles. So, again, what can I say? We're just not good enough. What we saw in this game as well, it wasn't even just that. I mean, our players were just better. Their players were just better. Cancelo, Bernardo Silva, a lot better on the ball. Their passing is way more fluid than ours. They're just more comfortable on the ball, and positions that I think we need to get better players in is right back. I think Wan-Bissaka and Dalot. I mean, Dalot would have suited this game again. I said in my preview, if we played a five at the back, and it would have allowed crosses to come in. Obviously, Ronaldo was injured. Cavani was not available again for this game, and it's just not good enough. Their players were a lot better than us. Gundogan, when he came on, looked dangerous. He had an opportunity where he should have scored. Bruno kept losing the ball the whole time. Lingard didn't do much where he came on. Rashford didn't do much. It was a shambles. It was a shambles, and even when they came on, it was Rashford and Bruno up top. That's what it looked like, and it kept changing a lot of the time. And I thought we looked all over the place in the first half, even though we were decent in the first 20 minutes. But we looked a bit of a shambles. The team was all over the place. Fred kept going high up. Obviously putting the pressing into Man City's defence, but it wasn't enough. They managed to go for our midfield so easily, and our defence was left unprotected. But also shambles, individualistic performances from Lindelof, Maguire, Wan-Bissaka. Our whole defence was a shambles. They had made some good saves, and that's it. So I need to watch it back and see what happens. But guys, please make sure to like and subscribe. Let me know where we go from here. We're just not good enough in my opinion. Please make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll talk to you guys later.